Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Cannon, and with me as always is Matt.
Hey.
And Rob.
Hello.
Hey, this is a Dice Tower chat, actually, but hey, I invited Matt and Rob from my podcast, Epic Gaming Night, rest in peace. But yeah, we're just here to hang out and talk with you guys. I had a ton of people. I did some of these, and I've done tons of Q&As, and people are like, when I go to cons too, everybody's like, how are Matt and Rob doing? How's Rob doing? How's Matt doing? I don't know. It's just always fun to have those things. So I thought it'd be cool to have you guys on. What's been going on?
Man, just missing you.
I moved several states away, that's for sure.
Yeah, you moved a few.
Oh, man.
No, life's been good, man. Life's been really good. Just busy working, getting everything going. Work. So yeah, that's with me, man. How about you, Matt?
40K says reunion episode! Exclamation point.
Yeah, man. It's back.
Man, here's the funny thing. I was showing property today because me and my clients, we don't care about Rona. We're hardcore. You want to buy a house? Arden Realty is going to sell you a house. And they were talking to me about podcasts and how like one of their teachers at their school has like a little video blog or a vlog that he does on board games. And he's like, yeah, he's really big. He's up to like 800 followers and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Here we go.
Not too long ago. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. But anyway, I kind of miss it.
I remember when your number one method of getting the news out about our podcast was just whenever you'd show houses to people, telling them about the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure the subscriber count went through the roof with that.
Bro, I had to stop doing it. It was so much. Like, please. Yeah, I remember that talk. Like, Rob, please stop. It's way too much. We can't handle it.
The servers can't handle the amount of people that are coming to watch this podcast right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody wants to hit us up with questions, we'll answer those below. But yeah, there's one here. Says, Roy, or all of us, are you getting Metal Gear Solid? Emerson's game. Have you looked into that anymore?
That is a good question.
Probably.
I want to. I want
it so much.
I want to, and I love Emerson.
Mm-hmm.
I did not get a chance to try it out at PAX Unplugged, which is kind of a bummer. I want to see if it's worth $100. That's my only hesitation. Is it worth the price point? But I know the game's going to be great just because Emerson created it, and he's just one of those people where, man, if it was priced like even $25, if it was $75 or less, I'd already own it. Like I would have bought it.
Right.
Because I know who he is. But just at $100, when I have to look at my wife and I'm like, well, it's Emerson. She's gonna be like, I don't care. Put it back.
I feel like some of these questions in the chat are already prying questions. Anyway, back to Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to actually play it. I saw like a whole scenario played or whatever at Gen Con. Like I was hanging out with Emerson while he was showing another group of people how to play it. But yeah, there's going to be a massive amount of content in it. Like Emerson said, they basically just gave him free reign to make the scenario book as big as possible. So it'll just be like gigantic with tons of gameplay. And he said you can collect all sorts of different weapons in some scenarios and take them back and play them in other scenarios. And the fact that you can like try to complete scenarios by just sneaking around instead of killing bad guys seems really cool. So I don't know, it seemed like a cool system.
Yeah, it looks great. And because, like you said, giving Emerson free reign to do something, it's just, I mean, I'm eventually going to buy it. I think I have all of his games. Several of them are not played yet, but still, he's a great guy, so.
I can't wait for it to actually come out, because it's been a while.
Man.
I know Rob really has already answered this question in the chat, but question, did you three ever play Battlestar Galactica together? And who was the worst Cylon?
Roy is the worst. Just know that if you're ever playing the social deduction game, it's Roy. Even if it's not. Even if he flips over and it says human, it's Roy. It's just Roy.
For every time you play with him at a con, just never trust.
Never trust Roy. Anytime you play with him at his house, anytime you play with him, it's Roy.
Whatever. There's been plenty
Bro,
of times
it's
when
so
it's been
bad.
other people, but I guess it stings more when it's me. I guess I don't know.
Well, the problem is you're so
very
nice.
I ruined it with that Shadows of Camelot game, is what it was.
You did that twice during Shadows over Camelot, and then you lied to me during that last Twilight Imperium. You're like, Rob, I'm not going to go there. Boom! You went there with everything. And when you've been to Cylon before, now it's just Roy. Because the problem with Roy, when you're playing a social deduction game with him, he is a fantastic team player, and so you're going to believe that he's a good guy. You're going to believe it, and then you find out that it's him, and it just hurts so bad.
I felt terrible. Probably one of the worst times I ever did this was when I was playing with Sam and Crystal. We played a giant game of Battlestar Galactica, and during the the sleeper phase or whatever, because I was good the whole first half of the game, and then I got a Cylon card in the second half of the game. So I was playing solidly good the first half of the game. Then the second half, I continued to play solidly good until we're like, oh crap, if we lose this one thing, we're gonna lose the game. I was like, guys, I got this. I'm totally gonna put everything in. You guys don't need to worry about it. I'm gonna make this happen. We're gonna pass this. And I just put all negative stuff in. And that was just really bad. And we lost, and I was like, no, how could we lose? And then we all flipped over our cards, and it happens.
Sounds like the normal thing. I feel like I would disagree. Do you remember that first game of Battlestar Galactica I ever played?
What exactly happened in it?
I turned
He got the Cylon card.
through, and everybody looked at their card and put it back down. And the Cylon card has so much text on it. I just sat there and read it for like 5 minutes, and then put it down. And then we started playing again. And then I go over to you, and I'm like, "Hey, man, how do Cylons play?" And you just threw me under the bus.
Yeah, it's not very forgiving in that manner.
Because, I mean, your position with Battlestar Galactica is it's so hard for the humans to win, it almost never happens. So I think you were a human that game, and you were like, no, burn him to the ground.
Yeah,
I think you ended up going to like the Cylon ship and ended up making it terribly hard for us the entire game. I don't know that we won. I think you guys still won.
I think we won too. It was it was interesting because Ryan Bradley was sitting to my right, and he was also a Cylon. And so he gave me an executive order, let me do some stuff, and then outed himself as a Cylon. And it was just like a back-to-back, like, hey, here we go. And I was like, oh, yeah. And it fell apart shortly thereafter.
That's a fun game.
Kabuki Kids asked, does anyone have an Oculus? Have you tried Half-Life? What is it? Iaxis or whatever? I don't. I know, Rob, you used to have a VR thing, right?
I have the PlayStation VR, and fun story, because we've been social distancing, my nephew and my niece are down from New York. My sister is a nurse in the ICU at Battlestar Hospital, one of the, I think it's the third largest hospital on the East Coast. And so they've got patients out of the wazoo with this whole virus thing. So we took the kids, my mom and myself, watching the kids. Anyway, we've been playing a lot of VR. And we've been playing a lot of Beat Saber and Spider-Man VR Far From Home demo. I'm a terrible Spider-Man. I will not save you in time. You will die. But no, I want to try the new Half-Life. That looks absolutely amazing. But I'm probably going to wait. My next VR will be like the PlayStation 5. I want to go Oculus, but if I go Oculus, it'll be Go. Where I don't think the Go can support Half-Life. I think it needs to be plugged into a computer or something like that. Where the Oculus Go is just, you put it on and play.
The ironic thing is I have an original Vive that is like the full room system, and I bought it years ago, and then I never really set it up. And then when I wanted to set it up, I already had these board game shelves in here, so I'm not quite sure how I would do that. I really want to play Alex though, because it looks amazing.
It does look amazing.
It's Valve. Like you gotta love them. So.
But bro, we've been playing Beat Saber, and like, if you've ever seen Hitch, I'm a little bit more than Kevin James is now in my dance routine than he was in Hitch. Like, I can go 2 steps to the left this time and then back to the right. Because Beat Saber's that one where you have the lightsabers and you're doing the dance moves and smacking the stuff.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me to drop it low, I won't be able to come back up. I'm going to be in that position for a while, but I can drop it. Just don't ask me to stand back up.
No picking it back up. Yeah.
I know that wasn't the question, but you got Matt and I on here, so we're
That's what we're known for. Tangents.
Yeah.
Well,
Random sides.
This is good. It's like the tangent thing anyway, so it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Adam hasn't asked about a certain Netflix special yet.
Talking about
Because I don't know if Matt even has. We haven't
Oklahoma
talked
or South Carolina or Florida.
We haven't even talked to Matt about that because I know Adam was talking about it on Facebook, and Matt hides from social media. So.
Matt, have you watched The Tiger King?
I don't even know what that is.
Bro.
Oh, bro.
Let me Google it real quick.
It is.
It's insane.
You'll want to stop the show to go watch it. It's that crazy. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's basically
man.
a show about a guy who owns big cats.
Okay.
And it is literally insane. And Rob said he watched the first 2 episodes, and it's extremely insane, right? It couldn't get any more
I
insane.
haven't finished it yet.
It gets more
I plan on
insane. It just keeps getting more insane.
This is one though where my wife is also like sucked in now, and so we have to watch it together. That's why I haven't finished it. But just after these first 2, I mean, Matt, listen to this, real quick. Girl got her arm eaten off by a tiger, and went back to work 10 days later.
At the Tiger Place?
Yeah,
At the Tiger Place.
Boy, that's
because she didn't want the tigers or her friends to get in trouble. Real
It's
quick.
so crazy, like
Listen-
all of these tiger people or whatever. How it's like a cult of tigers almost. It's insane.
I really like you guys, but if a board game were to ever eat a part of my body, I am never back to work. Right? Like, it's just like, no, not happening. Like,
Oh, Adam said he's gonna text us some gifts.
okay.
Oh, snap. Successful geek says there's too many other good things to watch Tiger King right now. I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot.
a ton of stuff.
You're not wrong that it's like insanely terrible, but it's like watching multiple train wrecks at the same time. Is basically what that show is. And the crazy thing is, like, it's all like real life. I'm sure they played it up for the show, but it's still like these are things that happened, which is insane.
Ooh, I like that question from Battle Cry.
Let me see if I can find it. You can go ahead.
If you run out of toilet paper, which rule book do you turn to first?
Not Wingspan. It's too durable.
Oh yeah, that textured would not be very good.
Not pleasing.
Honestly, I'd probably go to one of my older Zombicide games because I have so many rule books of Zombicide, and I
That's
like
all
the
the same
newer
thing over
rule
and over
books
again?
anyway. I would just use the newer rule books for their powers. Bro, if I did Zombicide as toilet paper, I'd probably have like 2 or 3 rolls.
Yeah, Jeff, the Tiger King is definitely not kid appropriate, so
Yeah, no,
definitely
it's not at all.
yeah, err on
Do
the side
not
of
recommend
caution.
that.
But yeah. Kabuki Kid asks this every time. Kabuki Kid, this is your like filler question. What's a game you guys loved as kids? What is a hobby game that brought you into the modern board game hobby?
Boom. What do you guys
I
want to
said
go
this
first?
last time. So this is for Matt and Rob. What game did you love as kids?
Man, as kids, I don't know. We played a lot of Trouble and Life as a family, and I really like Life because I love the spinner. And I like Trouble because of the little pop-o-matic. You don't see those anymore. But yeah, those were probably my 2 childhood
I'm surprised
games.
they haven't come out with more games with spinners with interesting mechanics. Like, you would think they'd have like a customizable spinner game or something like that.
Yeah.
Where like each person has their own spinner, but you could customize it as the game goes along. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. I remember
For me, it's Risk. I mean, I own 22 copies of the game.
For sure.
Actually, 23 now. 23 now. I've bought one since the show's ended because they came out with an Office version of Risk.
Oh my god!
What?
Yeah, there's an Office version. It's still in shrink, but I saw it and I was like, this is too dumb not to buy it. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Why is there a game of Risk based on The Office or around The Office? It's not The Office characters, but it says The Office. Anyway, so Risk was mine, and then the game that brought me into the modern board game hobby, it's a couple of games. One is Risk Legacy. Mm-hmm. Actually, you can see right there, my wife, that board, that's my very first Risk Legacy board. I played 8 boards of Risk Legacy, and I got that signed by Rob Davio like 3 or 4 years ago, the top part. And I've always kept that first board, and so she got it framed. I need to hang it up. Risk Legacy is what got me back into board games hardcore, and then also Mansions of Madness. I went to a game shop one day, like this comic book store, and they were having like game night. I didn't know anybody, but they were like, hey man, we need another player. You want to play? And it was first edition, and we ended up winning like on the last. We won in epic fashion. On the last turn of the last move where the monster was going to get away, we killed the monster on the last roll. And so ever since then I was hooked. And then shortly after that was like Game of Thrones and other stuff. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. What is your go-to solo game right now?
PlayStation 4.
I'm about to say, I know you guys don't play many solo board
I was
games.
gonna say Stardew Valley.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, mine's right now is Modern Warfare Warzone.
Matt, are you going to jump on the Animal Crossing train?
Man, if I can find a Switch.
Oh, really? Are they all sold out there?
They're sold out everywhere because everybody's like, well, I got to stay inside. May as well get a Nintendo for the kids. And I'm just like,
that's
I'm a
crazy.
kid. Buy me one. Like, Amazon hasn't had any in stock for a while. I know the local Target was like, I think they had 2 come in the past like 2 to 3 weeks, and they were bought up very quickly. I'm like, neat.
Oh, that's rough. I feel like there's still tons of Switches around down here. So I guess people in Homestead, Florida don't have priorities on the Switches like up in North Carolina.
It's probably just a North Carolina thing where they're like, hey, man, don't play with your kids. Just put them somewhere. Give them a thing. Let them go.
For me, as far as solo games, I've been playing a lot of Marvel Champions or whatever. The Marvel game, card game. Solo.
I want to buy it.
I know, but you're 100% boycotting at this point, right?
Just about. I don't have any faith at all that they're going to support it. I have no faith whatsoever anymore in Asmodee. It's probably a good thing we don't have our show anymore because it would be anti-Asmodee every day. They're so dumb. I'm so over them, and it ticks me off because they're under Christian Peterson, one of the greatest board game companies of all time. Post Christian Peterson, they have just gone down year after year, and all this stupid stuff that's happening. And I love that Colby has gotten his sense, and he got out. And I said that years ago. I was like, man, I would love for Plaid Hat to get back out and do their own thing, or start a new studio like Platter Hats or something like that. I said that on EGM, like they need to get out. Maybe not Platter Hats.
Platypus.
Platypus hats, something. But
pretty good.
I'm just super disappointed in them and their distribution and everything that's going on. And so that's why I won't buy it, because it's like, all right, I'm going to spend all this money and get all this stuff, and then, oh, hey, it didn't meet our numbers, so we're discontinuing it. Like, I understand if a game is not going to do well, you discontinue it. You make the smart financial decision. However, a game like that, there's no reason that game should fail. Yeah. No reason whatsoever. It's got the IP.
Last time we did this, somebody asked if you could buy any board game publisher, which one would it be? And I was just like, Asmodee, because I feel like parts replacement back on. Let's advertise our stuff. Let's do this. I'm like, I can fix this company, which sounds terrible to say, but
I'd buy it and fix it.
Man, but I remember reading somewhere like somebody was trying to like downplay the whole part replacement thing, and they're like, hey, it's fine, it's whatever. He's like, all companies do that. And I'm like, well, if you buy a new vacuum and you read the handbook, it says, hey, don't return it to the store. Please contact us for replacement parts. We would love to have your business. And I'm like, it seems so. I don't know.
They did the opposite. They said, don't contact us. Call the store. And oh wait, did you buy it online? Sorry.
Yeah, I wonder because
bought it from Cool Stuff. If you bought it from Cool Stuff, if you bought it from Amazon, if you bought it from Miniature Market or Gamer Nerds or any of those
people
other
were
major
even
sites.
asking like, hey, what if I bought it from your booth at Gen Con? Like, who do I return it to? Do I have to come back next year at Gen Con to get it replaced? It's like there's so many loopholes to this whole idea, and it's like it obviously only. Like, even the game stores, they're just like, oh, it'll make everything easier. The game stores are like, we hate this, It's like so much overhead because they have to take the game back in and give you a new copy of the game and hope that Asmodee sends them a new copy. Like, there's all these things that people are just like, it hurts the game stores, it hurts the consumer, and the only people that seems like it helps is them from not having overhead, So, it's whatever.
Anyway.
Heat.
Everybody's like,
yeah, trash.
Not talking about that.
So dumb.
They're just trying to be the next Hasbro, and
Yeah.
Cool. But
yes,
sure. If that's what you want to be, I get it. Makes sense. Hasbro makes a lot of money off of Monopoly and a lot of money off of Risk and other stuff. But that's all they do, right? They make those kiddie generic. Let me paste your IP. Like, oh, a new Jurassic Park movie's coming out. Jurassic Park Monopoly. Jurassic Park. Like, they're not making games. That's not what Fantasy Flight was created on. That's not what they've done. And it's just like, oh man, it's like watching. It's like, okay, Christian Peterson, let's just say he made your dream car. He made it. And then instead of giving you the keys, he looked at this kid who was on such a sugar high, who just got done drinking a 12-pack of Mountain Dew with cotton candy in his mouth. He gave him the keys to the car, who was like 8 years old and blind in one eye, and he said, go for a test run, kid. The kid got it straight for a little bit, but as soon as he got excited, his sticky hands couldn't get off the wheel. He crashed. Little kid's in the hospital. Now he's blind in both eyes, and we're trying to pick up the pieces. And oh, wait, there's no hospital. It's a nightmare. You're in hell. Sorry. That's what's happening.
Rob is very passionate about things going on at Asmodee.
It's just real. They don't care about us anymore, man. It's just really heartbreaking.
I mean, the good thing is like especially with Kickstarter, like there are so many other companies and so many good companies making amazing games out there that you can throw a rock and find a good game. I mean, it's impossible to play all the great games out there, so it's like doing anything that kind of hurts your fan base or whatever. I don't know. Hopefully,
To answer Gizmo the Cat's question, which is a great question, actually right now I'm really loving Cthulhu Death May Die.
We do want to keep this as a positive stream, though, so let's talk about positive things. Yeah, so what's everybody's favorite campaign game?
It's a really great game. I love the Kickstarter and all the extra stuff that it came out with. It's one of those games where I've really just... It's fun. It's not super deep or whatever, but it can be. And it can be brutal. Oh my gosh. The game can be brutal. But really, really have enjoyed that for like my recent campaign games that I played.
Yeah. For me, I played through Clank Legacy with Sam and Tom, and man, I loved Clank Legacy. It was a really fun game. I really enjoyed Clank, and it just elevated Clank in general for me, just because like the stories and stuff. I feel like Rob, you would love that game. I know it'd be hard for you to get a Legacy game played, but like that game is like Clank with tons of funny, zany stories thrown in. It's like if you had a bunch of really funny, silly stories like in Near and Far thrown into a Clank game where you're just running around getting all these stories and doing all this different stuff and pressing your luck. It was definitely a blast to play.
That sounds amazing.
I just had playing Clank maybe a month or so ago. It is such a great game. And Clank Legacy is probably like a legacy game that I would get into. And I think I'd probably get my wife into it right now. That's what's great is like the other day I was like, babe, you remember that board game I spent all that money on the Kickstarter? I still haven't played it. We need to play this game. So like I think next week I'm gonna get her to play Joan of Arc, and so if I can get her to play Joan of Arc, I can definitely get her to play Clank.
If you can get her to play Joan of Arc, I think you can get her to play pretty much anything.
Yeah, Clank is not that complicated, and this is very much just like it's based on the Penny Arcade like mythos of their campaign stuff. It's just like silly, wacky stuff, and it was just a lot of fun. So, Matt, what about you? What's your favorite campaign style game?
Man, right now I haven't played too many, even though I own several. I'd probably just have to say Pandemic Legacy, just because Season 2 was a lot of fun. But I think Sleeping Gods will probably overtake that when it comes out, because it looks just so good.
Yeah, I'm excited for Sleeping Gods when it finally comes out. That should be a ton of fun.
See, if we're talking about games to come, I am super excited for Trudvang. That's like, is one game that I want to complete. Like,
that's awesome.
I want to do all the story stuff. Like that's one where I'll get a dedicated group and we'll try to meet up or something and play that game.
So you back Trudvang?
Oh, bro, I backed Trudvang, not all the way, but I backed a lot of it. Yeah.
I was like, you're like the only other person I know that backed it, because I like backed it. I was really excited about the game, and after talking with Eric Lang about it, like I'm like, yes, this game's gonna be awesome, and I love like the very like the sculpts and stuff of it, like in the cool looking trolls and stuff like that. I'm really excited about that game. The fact that it's just very story driven, I think is going to be exciting. Also,
Kent and Courtney Parker, they might as well be on the Dice Tower. They're like one of those super fans. They did awesome. One of those like one-on-ones with Eric, I think at the Dice Tower last year, and they got to see a prototype demo with him on Trudvang and all that stuff, and they were like, it looks absolutely amazing. And it plays amazing, and it's super exciting. So their seal of approval for everything except for Coronia or Carnivore, whatever that stupid game is that he likes, that wine game. I love all of his other stuff. And I'm talking about Kent, whatever that dumb game is. You know what it is.
Oh, Concordia.
Oh, my God.
It's not even about wine.
Bro,
no, that's a completely different game, Rob. Come on.
I know, but out of all my point is, I love all of the suggestions for games except for when he's like, man, Concordia is amazing. That's the one game where it broke my heart, where I felt like breaking up with Kent. I was like, nope, like, this is so bad.
I find it interesting because I know a lot of people like that game too, so I don't know.
Trudvang, though. Trudvang.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm scrolling through to see what good questions we might have. Oh, Kent says he can't wait to play Trudvang also, so...
Kent may have to be my group. It may have to be like myself, Matt, Kent, Courtney, and Mark. I feel like we could win anything with us 5. Like we can get together every couple of months or something.
Yeah. I mean, we need to do that anyway.
We do. Oh man.
I still need to play Betrayal Legacy.
Swift,
have you played it yet? I haven't played it. I saw it the other day. It was like marked down for like $35. I almost picked it up, but I was like, who am I going to play this with?
We just need to schedule a time. I've got it.
I would like to play it too, but
have you not played it yet?
I haven't played it because, well, Tom and them had already started playing it by the time I got here, and then like people that were in the game left. So now there's a copy at the studio, or there was a copy at the studio. I don't even know if it's there anymore, but that's like half played. And Tom's like, can we continue with different people? I don't know how that'd work.
Yeah.
I would love to play it someday just because I really enjoyed Betrayal, just for that light fun of, sitting in the one room and gaining endurance the entire time.
That's the strat. I'm gonna punch a ghost to death.
Speaking of that game, Homeboy's married.
Yeah, Hector got married.
Hector got married. That's awesome! Congratulations.
Yeah, it was like a Tuesday. Hector's like posting pictures canoeing, and by like Thursday he's married. I'm like, what in the heck just happened?
Yeah.
Love the guy, but yeah, that was a special game. That was a special game.
Swift-Eyed Wolf asked a question here. I'm going to mix it up a little bit, though. Are there any solo or cooperative games that you have never won and played more than just a few times?
Ooh,
I would like to say no, but I have never won Ghost Stories, and I don't want to continue to play it and actually try to win Ghost Stories. So that's probably one.
Yeah.
Are there any cooperative games you've not won, Rob?
I mean, we may have played like a game and then came back and tried it again and then beat it like another time. So I can't
Right.
say, I can't say no, because I'm also honorary where it's like, no, I'm gonna beat this game,
Oh yeah.
especially if it's co-op. No, no. I will say though, a solo game that kicked our butts, even though we didn't play it solo, we played it co-op. Was, and if I were to play any solo game right now, it would be this game, that Arkham Horror, the card game.
Mm-hmm.
Even though their company sucks.
Positivity.
That game, when we played that game was a lot of fun. I love the cards, and I love how they actually did support that game. A lot of missions and stuff. That was a really hard game, though. Like, I think after your second or third mission, after you kind of like knew who you were going to go with, you were good. But every time I played that game, I was like, man, this game is not easy. So, but
I don't think I've ever won a game of the Grizzled.
I have won the Grizzled, but it was after playing it many times.
How about
And
this?
it was like
I
on
don't
the
know
easiest
if I've ever
difficulty.
won the Grizzled legally.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you know.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I heard about the Grizzled is that if you won, that you missed a rule or something like that.
That and the mind.
Oh yeah. The Mind's definitely never won the Mind, that game.
Yeah, never won the mind. So yeah, there's two right there.
What theme?
Even
do you
with
feel
cheating,
like,
have not won at the mind.
what theme do you feel like hasn't been used enough in board games?
Ooh.
You know what
The
I'm
Matrix.
gonna say? The Matrix. The Matrix. The Matrix. And with the Matrix 4 being, well, everything's on postponement right now. But with the Matrix 4 coming out, somebody needs to rebrand the Queen's Gambit and remake the Matrix. You can totally do it. Call me for suggestions. Send me an email. Check out my real estate website. Contact my information from there. But the Matrix, the Matrix, the Matrix. I think that would be such a great game. So many different avenues they could do with that game. It hasn't been used at all. It's not beating a dead horse, and now is the perfect time to bring it back. The Matrix.
Nice.
Sorry.
Oh man.
I've said this before, but I feel like there's a lot of really cool, like, anime type stuff, like Full Metal Alchemist or something like that, that would make an amazing board game. I mean, there's all sorts of different ones like Trigun, or there's been like Naruto board games before, but I don't think that many of them are any good. But there's a lot of stuff that have like really.
Card game.
Say what?
That legendary like deck builder that we played. That was.
Yeah, it was the Cerberus system or whatever, and it was, but
It was. Oh,
but
man.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of story that can go on in a lot of these, and I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are more and more people are consuming that kind of media. So I feel like it'll eventually happen. It's just a matter of time,
Hey, Matt.
What?
What if they rebranded Battlestar Galactica as Westworld?
I'm in. Let's go.
And you have to figure out
100%.
who's a robot or not.
100%. Let's do it. It's great.
I haven't
even
watched Westworld.
Oh my god.
Also, and I don't know how we're
Should.
doing this. Also, not kid friendly, not family
No.
friendly.
But a great show.
But it's If you like, it's really great sci-fi to me at least. I enjoy the concept of it. But that'd be a cool show. That'd be a cool game. Anyway,
Nice.
what's up with Matt's hair? It's amazing.
Oh, the Samurai Deli bit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I miss touching Matt's hair.
Miss old SNL.
Miss what?
Old SNL.
Yeah,
Ah,
back when it was good.
yeah.
Let's see
It's still not bad now, but it.
questions.
Are you guys really strict on not leaving your homes, or are you not as worried?
We're not
I'll
talking
answer that.
about that sort of
Sorry.
stuff.
I have to show property. In fact, I was out today showing property, and I was wearing my hunting gloves, and so I was telling my clients, I'm tracking down the best deal for you. Dun-dun-ch.
Oh,
But
man.
man, yeah, I just I still have to go out and stuff like that. Like that's how I make my money is showing property. And I got a listing today, which is fantastic, and showed several homes. But we are keeping it cool and calm. If I don't have to go out, I'm trying not to. And also they put some laws and stuff in place specifically for real estate where now they're allowing more and more video, like FaceTiming through homes where in the past you couldn't so much. So
that's good.
We're keeping it safe. You know, I got 2 little girls, and so I'm not trying to go out. But I'm also now a part-time school teacher.
Aren't we all?
Because my daughter's at home, so I got teachers school. Like the schools have been shut down. My kids asking me questions. I'm like, Google. I mean, not Google, but anyway.
So, Haylox30 says, "OMG, Rob, if you ever start a board game company, I want to work with you. I'll even move to the States from Europe here. What your Westworld idea is genius."
I mean,
Halo, between the ideas that Matt and I have come up with and lost on the show, and then the ideas that Roy has actually done and now is turning into board games, we would have one of the best board game companies out there. We would
Besides, none of us know how to actually publish games. We just pretend.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. You ask Emerson. He's one of the nicest people ever. He'll tell you. It may take a while, but he'll tell you. And we can make it happen. We can make it happen. So I appreciate that. But it'd be fun. If I won the lottery, I'm definitely starting a board game store. I already know the name of the store and everything.
But yeah, hit us up with lots of questions so that way I can talk about those things, everybody.
I have a question for the chat, actually. I was thinking about something the other day at work, and
yeah?
I'm not familiar enough with board games to know if this mechanic has been done. But is there a game that is like hidden worker placement?
Where you actually like go to a place and hide? Like
sort of. The thing I was thinking of is like you go to a place and you're doing things, but people might not know what it is that you're doing. And then in your like tableau, you're sort of building something that they can't see.
What would be the point of hiding? Is there a point where people are trying to figure out where you went? Or like I haven't mapped out that much. I know Seven Ronin is kind of like an area control game where there's ninjas. You're basically like simultaneously choosing where you're going to be on the board, and you're trying to like minimize the damage to your village and like and not have your Ronins die too fast. But that's not worker placement. That's like, I don't know if it's really even area control-ish. It's like simultaneous like
action
place selection. It's not even action selection because you're picking where you're going to defend, and if you defend certain places, then certain people get rewards or not. Like if the ninjas get through, they'll get extra bonuses, and you don't want that, so you're trying to block them at certain spots. But a worker placement game would be kind of interesting.
The original theme that like I was loosely working with was like if you were the henchman of a supervillain, and so everybody at the table is like working to like accomplish that guy's goals. But the end of the game is triggered by like heroes showing up and knocking that guy off. But you want to be, next on the totem pole so you can take over. So you're trying to amass all this stuff and appease that guy at the same time without like letting other people know. And then I was sort of thinking about like The Godfather, where it's like you're doing stuff, but then you're putting stuff in your chest, so it's like sort of secret. But that's I don't know. I was just curious because I was like, man, that would be.
Would you have to do it where like everybody's taking their turn at the same time, type of a thing, so that way like you can try to hide it?
See, I don't know. That's the thing I've been tossing around in my mind was like, how do you work this out? And I was just like, I don't know. I felt like this would be a good opportunity to ask because the majority of people in here are more board game savvy than I am.
Or if like it was a worker placement game where you all secretly placed your workers, but then like if people went to the same spot, you get less benefits or something like that. But you didn't know. There is one that kind of does that. What is it? What's the Three Little Pigs game? Oh my goodness, the Druid City Games Three Little Pigs game.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous game. Great components.
Why can't I think of the name of it?
Build the houses
Chat's
with the hay,
about to
the
say it
brick.
in like 2 seconds. But yeah, in that game, there's like different types. There's like wood and straw and bricks and like several different kinds, and you basically have cards where you're like flipping over and Grim Forest. Yes, thank you. I knew chat would help me out. I mean, Grim Forest, you're kind of going there at the same time, but if multiple people go there, you get less resources. So you kind of want to go to a place that the other players aren't going to, you know. And all the Grim Forests are coming in the chat. That's awesome.
Well, what about
they'd help me out. But yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, I was cleaning my glasses.
But yeah, Star Wars Rebellion I don't think is really hidden worker placement, but Star Wars Rebellion has like some worker placement elements in it, which is pretty cool. Did we ever play Star Wars Rebellion, Rob?
I
feel like you would have really liked that game.
I think you played with like Matt and Hector.
I know I played it. I think I played it with Hector, and I know I played it with
Ryan
Trevor
there or something,
several
or
times.
AJ. I played with Trevor and them.
Gotcha.
Have you
That's a
played
fun game.
Legion? Star Wars Legion?
I haven't played the miniatures game. No. Did you actually play it or no?
I haven't, but like I've
They
been doing
keep
a lot
releasing
of
stuff for it though, so.
I know. And the stuff they're releasing looks amazing. And so I don't know if I'm interested or I'm just like a Star Wars fan. I've been playing a lot of Song of Ice and Fire.
Zero people to play miniatures games with, so.
Who?
I have like nobody to play miniatures games with at this point, so.
Here, you guys gonna back the new Egyptian Eric Lang game when it launches on Kickstarter?
I'm wondering when that's gonna happen, but yeah, I'm totally gonna onk. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
I like that they teased it, and then they teased another game right after, and they're like, the next game's gonna be Ankh, and then it's like, and something else is coming. And I'm like, all right, guys.
Yeah.
They're like all the games.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be my last cool mini game, I think.
Really? Why?
It takes a long time to get them, I think.
Yeah, and they've been doing some weird stuff on Kickstarter, from what I've seen.
You mean they're price gouging where they'll go 20,000, 30,000, 70,000 for this next stretch?
Well, I think something happened with one of the recent games where it was like the shipping costs increased, and like after everybody had already paid, they were like, "Hey guys, yeah, we had a little delay, but we're gonna do the two-way or the one-wave, two-wave thing that like Awaken Realms does."
Mm-hmm.
But in order for it to be delivered on time, you would have to pay extra, even though, and it's just like, oh, weird, because it's like Awaken Realms was very upfront about it. And
I just played Starcadia Quest from them. It was actually pretty good. Have you ever played Arcadia Quest, Rob? The old one?
Yep. I don't own it, but I did play somebody's copy. It was not bad. It was not bad. I like
Quest
the minis
was really
and stuff
good.
like that.
Yeah, it's pretty light. It reminds me of kind of like I guess the original game is sort of WizWarry without like all the crazy card combat stuff. It's like you're trying to complete objectives and run around and fight monsters. It gives me sort of that same sort of vibe, but like a little bit lighter, you know?
Yeah.
But in Starcadia Quest, what they changed up is in the old one, the monsters used to just like interact with you if you like went up to them and stuff and you try to kill them. But in this one, at the end of each person's turn, they draw an event card and it can either put like more monsters on the board or you can like activate a monster to like go attack whoever you think is winning at the time, you know? So it makes it a little bit interesting dynamic as you're like jumping on each other. It was pretty, I just have the core box, so there's not a ton of stuff in it, but it was pretty cute, light little game.
I did not back. I see what you are saying, Matt. I ended up not backing Marvel United because some of the stuff that they're doing.
I got at least the core just because I feel like it would be worth the investment in that, you know. So, but everybody else in the studio is getting a lot of the other stuff, so I'll have a chance to try it all out. I feel like.
Yeah.
So.
I like wanted to just because it's like once again it's minis, but I'm trying to like curb in that thing where it's just like, why am I buying these $100 to $200 board games just for some plastic?
Yeah.
Because I've got so much plastic behind me, and it's just like, okay. But I don't know. Still makes you want it all the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh man, good times.
Good times. I'm trying to see with this with the popularity of House Party app. Is there a game that would be good to play or try? Um, I'm not exactly sure what they mean by House Party app. I'm sure somebody in the chat will
Oh, is
mention
that
it.
like
But
where you can all play together?
I know there's like the Jackbox type stuff. We've done a ton of that, like at the Dice Tower before, and I've tried that with other people. Those games are kind of fun, and people can like remote in to play a lot of those games. I'm not sure if the Jackbox stuff is exactly what you mean, but there's a lot of that stuff that's really really fun. It feels a lot like Say Anything almost. Did you guys ever play Say Anything?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like where there's a topic and you have to come up with crazy things to say about it. So Heather always really liked that one a lot.
Yeah, if I were to do like an app game or something, I mean, I haven't tried the House. Is House Party like a game, or is it just like an app to connect with other people?
So a quick Google, as it looks like it's an app that sort of splits the screen almost like Skype or just a normal like Zoom or like one of those teleconferencing things. But it's designed to be more like a social media thing so that you connect with people who might not be in a work network.
Oh, gotcha. So you can.
That might be fun to do for like a werewolf or something like that when everyone's bored and sitting at home. It'd be hard though. The hard thing would be
to get the cards to everybody. Like if you could secretly message each person their role, and then still have somebody moderate it, it would be a blast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you couldn't do that, because if they're part of the app, just send them a private message via the app. It's just like I do Zoom stuff now with certain meetings and stuff I have to go to, and the thing I don't like about Zoom is the camera's not consistent. It's only on those that are talking, and so if you're playing a board game, you want, or at least for me, I want the camera to be consistently on the board so I can look at what's going on, type of a thing. Or at least on their board to see what they're doing or moving around.
You have to have ambient music playing on the camera that has the the board, so it's always front and center.
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, I would probably just do FaceTime or Skype. So if you're gonna do a board, and I've done that in the past. I don't know if you guys remember Lindsay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I played Ashes. And I beat her. She never beat me. Played her multiple times on Ashes. She's a fantastic person, though.
Yeah, and I've played. I played Marvel Champions with Marty from Rolling Dice Taking Names. I've done stuff like that before, and I've played plenty of other card game type stuff over Skype. But normally I use Skype as opposed to the other programs, mostly because that's just what I'm familiar with the most. But yeah.
Boom.
Boom. Somebody said that they played D&D over Facebook Messenger. We played D&D over over Skype for like a long time. We had a whole series that we did.
There's this one guy on Facebook. I mean, I imagine he's other places, but I've seen his stuff on Facebook. And I've even tagged Adam in some of his stuff where he makes these absolutely ridiculous 3D terrains. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
It's just gorgeous. It's so ridiculous. And it's making me want to play D&D because I'm like, okay, that's not D&D. You are playing storytelling G.I. Joe, and I want to play storytelling G.I. Joe. That's what you're doing. Yeah. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I would do that, but yeah, this whole coronavirus thing, it's making me like, I don't know, get that's like this. Like I'm excited for this, be able to talk to other people and see other people. You could easily do that with D&D, with any of those apps, because you're not really needing to look at anything because it's all in your mind.
Yeah, if you do the theater of the mind stuff, it makes it really easy to be able to put stuff together. You just have to, the DM just needs to be good and creative at telling an evocative story or trying to like be able to describe the stuff to the players to kind of give them imagery. Because I mean, like when we played our campaign, I know how things looked in my head, but I mean, I have no clue like how it actually played out in you guys' minds. It could have been more or less epic. I don't even know. So it's like describing like you guys fighting against invisible walls and throwing barrels up against them and getting a giant like Doomslayer axe on the other side. I mean, I have no clue what that looks like to you guys.
In Taruk's world, it was pretty
exactly epic. In Taruk's world. Okay.
Karuk.
I was gonna say, I think
Because you guys can.
my world, it
see
was super epic because I remember that first boss we fought. I was like, we need to run. We can't beat this thing.
The big giant.
Come on. I barely know how to fly.
Oh yeah, man,
Remember when
that,
Roy
that whole
did that
scenario
whole
was just
tank?
weird.
That was wild.
That
I thought a
key
lot
trick.
about. That's the thing about D&D is like as a DM, you want to think a lot about like what's happening because I tried to keep it pretty open for you guys, so I had to think about like, well, what if they do this or what if they do that. My answer a lot of times was just you guys getting in trouble with the guards, but but the guards were also bad, so it made sense.
I mean,
So-
what D&D campaign doesn't have the players getting in trouble with the guards? Like you could
Yeah.
have a bunch of lawful good paladins, and everybody's like, so anyway, let's go sneaking around. And the guard's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, nothing.
I'm on a
Nothing.
holy quest.
I'm not going to talk to you at all.
I'll tell you this though: if I ever play D&D again, my character background will not be based off of Drax, the Destroyer.
Oh yeah, that'll
Drax the
damage your
Destroyer
voice.
is not that great for group play. You know,
Drax actually is not a very good team player. You are correct.
he's not a very good team player. To him, it's just he's so literal. So anyway,
So Kabuki Kid asks favorite movies and favorite movie genre.
oh bro, oh man,
I mean, mine's pretty boring, so I'll say it first. I just love Lord of the Rings. I know, it's standard, and everybody always says it. But those movies were epic, and they still are
Yeah.
epic. They even hold up to this day, and that's kind of hard to do for some movies.
no, they are still pretty amazing, and I hope they never remake them. Maybe remaster them a little bit for like when Frodo and Return of the King is running into Mount Doom, like that little CGI. That's a little sketchy, but I can't see anybody else as Aragorn or Frodo or Samwise or anything like that, or even Gandalf, or like you can't replace them. So, man, I mean I've got several. I'm a big fan of movies. Big fan of movies. I'll say right now, for me, best action flick is between two right now. I've always been a fan of Braveheart. I've just loved Braveheart, but then I've recently, I've seen it multiple times. 1917. If you're a movie fan, just the cinematography of 1917 is absolutely amazing. And I watched this whole thing on it where they did break it up, but when you're watching the movie, the way that they edit it, it's all one shot. Now they didn't film it all as one shot, but it looks like all one shot, and it's, to me, that's absolutely breathtaking and amazing just to see. It makes the story very intimate because it's like you're right there with them. And so I'm loving 1917 right now. Favorite romantic movie of all time, hands down, Meet Joe Black. I absolutely
You always
love
talk
that
about
movie.
that.
Bro, it's so good because it's love on so many levels. Love between a relationship, love of a father, love for a life, love for a business and what you've created. Comedy. I know this is going to be really bad. It's two. It's probably Tommy Boy and Step Brothers. Step Brothers is terrible. It's
That
so
movie
bad.
is silly.
I just love Will Ferrell. And then also, man, Silver Linings Playbook or American Hustle.
Mhm.
Great cast, great dramas, a lot of twists and turns and stuff like that. But like if I were to go on a desert island and I could only take 3 movies or 4 movies, like those would be the ones that I would take.
What about you, Matt?
My favorite, I couldn't narrow it down to one, so I have 2. So the original Blade Runner and Moonrise Kingdom, the Wes Anderson film. I really like both of those.
Oh, yeah, Wes Anderson, he's fantastic.
And love a good sci-fi film, even when
I
they're
know,
bad.
yeah. I think sci-fi is also probably my favorite movie genre because there's so many interesting
see, I
sci-fi
can't pick
movies
one.
out there.
Oh yeah.
Like that
It's
in
like-
fantasy, I can't pick one because there are so many that I love.
Even bad sci-fi like Gravity, it's like you're still like,
Yeah.
oh man, that was fun to watch, but I hated the movie.
Yeah.
Man. What was that movie? Was it Ascension? Was it-
Be more specific.
It had Lois Lane. She's not Lois Lane, but she was Lois Lane. Also had Jeremy Renner in there about the aliens and those half
Arrival.
The Arrival.
Yeah.
You know what's another sci-fi movie I want to watch again? I have Interstellar. I need to watch that movie
Oh,
again.
yeah.
The soundtrack is so amazing to that movie. But that's a deep one. I also love The Martian. I don't know if you've seen The Martian.
Oh yeah.
Love The Martian. I can't pick sci-fi. I can't. There's just so many that I love. And then, do you want to go crazy sci-fi? Because I like the old school Terminators. We're gonna go into the '80s, bro.
I had seen
even Terminator 2. Terminator 2 still lives up to this day. Still to this day, great movie. Man, just there's and then Predator and all that other kind of stuff. I don't know. Sorry.
I had seen the new Blade Runner, but I finally watched the old Blade Runner. I hadn't actually seen it. And I didn't realize how that movie ends. I was just like, is this how this movie ends? Seriously?
Well, okay, so, man, the original one...
I didn't realize the bad guy's name in that movie was Roy as well.
Wasn't there like 3 or 4 cuts, too?
Yeah, there's like 19 different cuts of that movie.
Okay, what's the best cut? Because the cut I watched, he just expired.
The cut I think that I have is like the definitive director's cut. Like their naming schemes are a little weird.
Gotcha.
But I know one of the original Sony cuts, it just like has the unicorn scene, and then they're like, "All right, that's it," and it's just like, "What? Huh? What?" Like it gets weird.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, man, the new Dune movies.
I'm really excited.
I'm excited.
I want to see more on it, but I am pretty pumped for that.
And then at Dice Tower West, I
Avenger films.
Oh, for sure. At Dice Tower West, I played Dune with Emerson. Finally, he'd never played it, and we played Dune. And it was fun because we ended up allying together and ended up winning the game after like 37 tries. We kept trying to win, and we kept like getting just this close, and then we'd lose a battle. We get this close, and we'd lose a battle. So, but it was a ton of fun. But I'm super stoked for
Shawshank Redemption. That's another one when it comes on, I can't not watch it.
For the rest of this, Rob's just gonna be yelling out movies.
So what's y'all's favorite game like this? Man, have you guys seen blah blah blah? Sorry, I'll stop.
The podcast will be over. Rob will just be sitting in a room.
I'll still be talking, just like on Skype. Nobody will be on.
All night long, he's just gonna be yelling movie names. I forgot to mention that one.
Babe, I should have said this.
There's so much.
Nobody cares.
Have you guys played any new board games at all? Like since we've
by new.
Well, just recently, have you played any games much at all? Like what are you guys really digging on right now?
Kid games.
Gotcha. But have you got any new ones that are good?
Yeah, I got this one at PAX Unplugged. Which shout out to PAX. It was a great convention. Awesome food. Awesome food. I'll say it's tied with indie because it was different type of food. Actually, I'll take that back. It's got to be better just because of that market.
I like that
Amish plate. Oh my gosh, so amazing. But anyway,
Did
you get those donuts, Matt?
Bro, those donuts. Oh my gosh,
they're so good.
Here's the crazy thing: you could still have a donut from that place today, from back in November, and it'd still be fresh. I don't know how they do it. But like,
Magic
I was
donuts.
munching on those donuts for like multiple days, and they were still fresh every day. And I was just like, I don't know what you guys do to this stuff, but I love it, and I'm thankful for it.
Anyway, kids games.
Kid games. There's this game, Blue and Yellow came out, or Blue Orange. Blue Orange came out with this kid game. I think it's Blue Orange. It's called a Quest, where you're all working together, and you remember that old wooden board game where you're trying to get the ball, the metal ball. Yeah, so there's this game out. It's called a Slide Quest or something Quest, but it comes with like 20 different levels. And you can play by yourself, or you can play with up to 4 people, and everybody gets like a side of the board. It's like Ice Cool a little bit, where you turn the board or the box into the board, and you're all working together. And sometimes there's dynamite, and if you knock over the dynamite, you lose a health. Or there's certain guards, and you have to knock the guard into the hole that's on the guard number. So it's not like just knocking them out of the way. And then there's the boss, who you can't defeat the boss until you knock the guards in the holes that they have to go into, or just into a hole. And then you have to knock the boss in. It's pretty cool. I played that with my niece and my nephew and my daughter. We had a lot of fun playing that. Also played Kids Ticket to Ride. We played the European version, Kids Ticket to Ride. Great game, a lot of fun. And it was kind of cool because like after the second or third turn, my daughter's 7 and my niece is 10. By like the second or third turn, they're like, "Oh, we get this. Like, yeah, I want to do this,
awesome.
and we got to do this." And so like my daughter ended up winning, which I'll give her an asterisk because I helped her the first 2 rounds to set her up to get these like amazing things. And I'm not ashamed of saying it. Yeah, I won. But anyway, play that. And then there's also this other tic-tac-toe. We play a lot of tic-tac-toe. Do you guys play tic-tac-toe?
Like the actual.
Yeah.
Like regular
Yeah.
tic-tac-toe. Not really.
So I want to say it's also Blue-Orange that came out with this.
Wait, did you also pick this up at PAX Unplugged?
Yeah.
Ah,
that tic-tac-toe game?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Bro. So you get your tic-tac-toe board, but then it comes with different sizes of tic-tac-toe, kind of like the Russian dressing dolls.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
And they eat each other, so that way there's never a tie. And so that way you can never lock up the board, or it's very hard to lock up the board. Man, my daughter and I, we've been playing the mess out of that tic-tac-toe game. I'll try to jump out of the way real quick to go grab it. But playing that a lot, Ticket to Ride, just a lot of kid games. My daughter's been home for a few weeks now because of this whole virus stuff. And then my niece and nephew were here all last week, and they'll be back here next week.
What about you, Matt? Have you played anything? Did you get your Kingdom Death put together?
No.
I'll tell you what, if you come up for the week at some point,
you still won't put it together.
Up out of work.
I tried to get you to bring it over at some point.
Yeah, I know. I was just too lazy.
Have you played anything though?
I mean, I've been playing a lot of phone games. So like Terraforming Mars, I played Takedo for the first time because it was free on the App Store, and Takaido's pretty fun. Like really simple, but like neat little game. Man, what else have I played? Played Reavers of Midgard.
Nice.
Reavers is pretty good, but I still prefer Champions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean that makes sense for you. you're fine.
I just think like if you concentrate on that one corner, like that one deck of cards, you could really rack up the points. Like I know we had that at PAX Unplugged. Like if I were to ever play again, that's all I would concentrate on. If you're looking at the game board, it's I think the bottom left-hand corner. Those quests or something where like if you get so many of those, they stack and stack and stack. Because remember, didn't you score like 150 points? Something ridiculous from that.
Yeah, I don't remember quite what it was. I just remember I didn't think I was going to win, and then ended up passing you guys.
Yeah. Still a great game though. I did not sell my copy. I didn't get rid of it. It's pretty. I'll keep it, but yeah.
I'm really excited. I played Fallout Shelter recently, which was actually pretty good, surprisingly. It's a like really
game,
simple.
I saw that.
It's a really simple worker placement game, like really simple, like simpler than. I'd say it's simpler than like Lords of Waterdeep, but it has a little bit of that feel because you're building these different rooms in the shelter. But when other people go there, you get resources. So I know Matt would love that. But yeah, we were all saying we are surprised this game is this good, and then of course I played Arcadia Quest recently with my kids. That was fun. But yeah, mostly just random stuff. But yeah, I guess we will wrap this thing up since it's been an hour. It's been awesome having you guys on. I know this is super short, and we didn't really get to talk about too much stuff. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us.
Like Roy, not again, Roy.
Never again.
Hopefully I get to keep my job after that. No, I'm just kidding.
Rob said hell of a time. Like we're signed with Asmodee. You can't burn Asmodee.
Oh, we're
down.
definitely not signed with Asmodee. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming on. You guys are all the best, and hopefully everybody's having a safe time and being able to spend time with their family. And yeah, let's just all keep it positive out there and make things happen. But we're going to be having daily chat again tomorrow. It should be Tom again on the next one, I think. Thanks so much, everybody who asked questions in chat. You're all the best. And we'll see you next time. People said they're glad
Please
to see
stay
Epic
safe.
Gaming Night again.
Please stay safe. And everybody who's working in the medical field and just everybody who's out there interacting with people, you are amazing. You are amazing, and we are beyond thankful and blessed to have people like you. So for you or your loved ones or your friends or family, you guys are awesome. Please stay safe and stay inside.
Bye.